This is the original heart of Atlanta.
We're in South Downtown Atlanta, an area that has certainly seen its better days, but right now it is undergoing a massive transformation. And in this episode of the Lucie Spotlight, we are speaking with Jon Birdsong of Atlanta Ventures and how they are transforming 10 city blocks into a major tech hub.
Lucie, the name means light. The majority of our team has worked in newsrooms throughout the country. We've seen the negatives. At Lucie, we explore the positives. And through this video series, we spotlight them. People, places, businesses, nonprofits, you name it. Storytelling is at the heart of our company, and we know sharing a story makes connections. It's simple, informative, and empowering. So without further ado, let's go.
Jon, first off, congratulations.
Thank you.
This is amazing.
Got decades of work ahead.
Tell us, this is a massive model. Show us what we're looking at.
Yeah, so this is South Downtown. It is 10 city blocks, 16 acres, 56 buildings, and 89 parcels in the most transit-oriented development of arguably in the country. 5 Points MARTA station here, Garnett here, you've got Mercedes-Benz, the state capitol right here, and the Richard B. Russell building used to be the terminal station. So from 1905 to 1972, that is where people entered and exited our city. All three train lines converged right here, which is really how Atlanta got its start. And so this has been an area that's been forgotten for a few generations, right? And you know, those are words from A.J. Robinson, the CEO of Central Atlanta Progress, and it's true. Right? You have 6 acres of street level parking, whereas for generations, people would get off the train, walk down historic Hotel Row, which is still there, and then go to 250 different merchants all across the neighborhood. We got here because in 2017, Newport, which is a German development company, they came to Atlanta, they spent hundreds of millions of dollars, 7 years in a pandemic, acquiring all of these buildings, putting hundreds of millions of dollars into beginning the rehab phases of this area. And last March, they just walked away. Last October, actually October 19th, 2023, David Cummings texted me and a couple other entrepreneurial friends and said, hey, the previous developer fell through. What would we do with 10 city blocks, 16 acres, and 56 historic buildings? And we said, well, we've got 12 years of turning a building up in Buckhead, the old private bank, turning that into the 4th largest technology hub in the country. Let's now do it on a district level and put as much housing as possible and really take the natural ingredients that are here and create a downtown worth living in. And every great city in the world has a thriving downtown, and it's Atlanta's turn now. We have all the natural ingredients. We've got Morehouse, Spelman, Clark, Morris Brown, the AUC. We've got Georgia State over here. We've got the Capitol here. You've got public transportation. You've got Mercedes-Benz, World Cup, 8 games. Each one's the equivalent of 1 Super Bowl. 30 days, 3.5 million people are gonna be coming to our city expecting an experience that we know we can deliver from the Olympics. I was here when the Olympics were here. The city really rose to the occasion, and we're going to do the exact same for the World Cup.
So it's office, retail, there's affordable housing as well in there, and this is quite the timeline to get this done.
Yeah.
How's it going so far?
Yeah. So it's going exceptionally well. We're focusing on hammers are swinging. We have housing that's coming in 3 different areas right now, which is 82 Peachtree. That was the original Riches from 1907.
Wow.
This is a National Historic Building. There's going to be 60 units there. Across the street is the Bass Furniture department store. That's going to be 26 apartments. And then we're got 100 and this is 142 Mitchell. This is also a National Historic building. It's going to be 40 units in there. So between those, we're going to have 126 units that's being worked on right now. There's construction being demoed outside or in those buildings right now to prepare for the development of those apartments. And then the big Project L, we're calling it ELLE, which is from Ted Turner to Broad to MLK, which includes Historic Hotel Row. So those Historic Hotel Row, for decades, people would get off the train, they'd go to those working man hotels, spend the night. We're in the process of leasing out several spots there. We already have Tide Tate Kitchen, Spiller Park Coffee. Those are up and going. Tide Tate's really good, and the coffee at Spiller Park is delicious. So there's 10 spots there. We are leasing out on the first floor of those 10 spots. We've got Delilah's, which is soul food, Southern Comfort coming. And then the big thing is the Atlanta Tech Village Sylvan, named after the Sylvan Hotel. That will be open in January. If there's a priority of everything, it's housing first, housing first, housing first, then retail, and then we're gonna sprinkle in co-working. Because people don't want to go back to the office, but they want to go to a town. They want to go to a downtown.
Tell us all of the safety measures that you're taking into account with the development of this type.
Yeah. Best thing possible for safety is eyes on the street, which means residents. By far and away, that is the number one statistic of improved safety and security, is getting as much housing here as possible. Beyond that, we are working with the Atlanta Police Foundation, so we have additional patrol. Officer Blue was here just not too long ago, which is 24/7. We do have several digital eyes on the street, so flock safety is a big one, which handles license plate readers, gunshot detection, and that network is already distributed all across the city and country. But particularly the city, it connects with the Atlanta Police Department. And so we've just added 42 cameras all across the neighborhood.
Tell us more about how you received that text from David Cummings about this large property becoming available, and then the thoughts about risk and what you guys are taking on.
Well, the only reason we're able to do this is because of very ambitious, risk-taking entrepreneurs. Kyle Porter, the CEO of Sales Loft, Taupe, Awatona, Craig. These are entrepreneurs who have built very successful businesses. Atlanta Ventures was lucky to be a part of. And between all of the businesses that we've either started or funded, there's just that DNA in entrepreneurs of sending it.
I love it.
And you gotta send it every now and then.
You gotta send it. Jon, you've been giving us the rundown on this beautiful model. It's incredible to see how large this parcel is going to be. And is. Let's hit the streets and then let's see it in real life.
Yeah, I would love that. At the end of the day, downtown is for doers. It is not easy to execute. And the people that are going to be attracted to this are people that love very difficult problems and against the odds tasks.
I love it. Makes sense. All right, let's go.
Cool.
Tell us what we're looking at.
You can imagine a bar there, an amazing restaurant here, select retail. Will we be able to get every building open? No, but partnering with the right retail, partnering with the people. Back to downtown is hard. Downtown is for doers, people that want a challenge. We're gonna have options for them to take, and we're gonna get these things looking really move-in ready for the World Cup. I mean, look at the HL Green. This is a 5 and dime store. the fact that it's a five and dime store, I mean, that just shows you, this was built in 1950. And you see the little Art Deco windows here. I mean, you can imagine a little diner there, or even some co-working up top for, you know, people who don't want a full-time office, but also are up for having office space to get out of the house. So 1999, Paul McCartney's in town. He and his son are at America's Mart because his daughter is selling stuff. They get bored, so they call up the chauffeur. This is years before Uber. And they go to the chauffeur, hey, would love to go to Little Five Points, because Little Five Points is fun and funky. Well, the chauffeur dropped him off here at 5 Points. So he gets out, walks, and sees this Miller Rexall drugstore. Richard Miller's the owner. And he walks in, and this drugstore is selling spiritual ointments, aromatherapy, and he walks in. The owner doesn't recognize who he is. Supposedly he was dressed in all black and you know, had a mumbled foreign accent. And Paul McCartney looked around the store. He saw this Run Devil Run aromatherapy that helped with depression. His wife Linda had just passed away. So he goes to Richard, the owner, and he says, hey, if this helps my depression, I'll write you a song. Richard, not recognizing him, is like, yeah, whatever, another crazy artist on Broad Street telling me they're gonna write me a song. 2 weeks later, photographer comes out, takes 20 minutes of photos. Richard runs out, he's like, what are you doing? Who are you with? Are you with the IRS, the CIA? The photographer wouldn't say anything. 6 months later, that is the cover of Paul McCartney's solo album titled Run Devil Run.
What a story. That's fantastic.
Yeah, right here.
This bridge recently opened.
It did, yeah, 18 months ago. The Cary Steel Bridge. We view this as a big entrance to the neighborhood. You know, 15 million people go to the Bends every year, and we want to see them walk down Nelson to Broad and have a walkable experience, knowing that 222 Mitchell, this parking lot, someday will continue to have be built up on. But this is a great entrance to the neighborhood, and you're right in the middle of Broad between two major MARTA stops.
You look at an investment of this size and tell our folks who are not that familiar with Atlanta what happened.
This is a result of businesses started in Atlanta and proceeds from those outcomes. So, for example, Sales Loft, Calendly are two examples where proceeds from those businesses are being reinvested into the community. And it's all really one investor, one proprietor, David Cummings. He really believes in the strength of the downtown is a really good indicator of what is ahead for that city. Midtown's full, Buckhead's been full. The next natural evolution of growth in Atlanta is going to be downtown. And every great city in the world has an active, thriving, safe downtown. It's Atlanta's turn.
I love it. Jon, congrats to you and the team.
We got a lot of work ahead.
You do. And one of my most favorite parts of this whole tour, and when we were looking at the model, was the two words. You guys just really did this. And for y'all watching, you gotta send it.
Gotta send it.
Send it.
It's being sent right now.
Congrats.
Thank you, Craig.
Yeah.
Our mission is simple: create your news. When we create it, we hope to spotlight your purpose. Life's too short to be stuck in a world that becomes stale. What is your purpose? Are you living it? If you're not, the time is now. Thanks for listening and watching. Carpe Diem.